Hey everybody! So in today's lesson, I want to complete my video series on soloing over single chord types. I've done videos on how to solo over major chords as well as dominant chords, and you can find those videos in the video description below. Today we're going to talk about soloing over just minor chords, which can be very helpful when soloing over standards that are based in a minor key. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to make authentic minor lines which sound like this. Alright, let's dive right into it. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is the minor sixth diminished scale. I'm pretty sure that this comes from Barry Harris, but I personally learned it from my mentor, Randy Napoleon. What this scale does is it essentially lets you play the minor 1 chord and the dominant 7 chord at the exact same time. Here's what it sounds like. Make sure to learn this scale in as many different positions as possible on the guitar neck. So if you checked out my previous videos in this series, you can see that this scale, just like the other ones, is an 8-note bebop scale. This is important because this means that all our chord tones will fall on downbeats. And that means if we start on a chord tone, we're going to end on that same exact chord tone 4 beats away from where we started. Remember that when we're using our bebop scales, we want to think about our chord tones as minor sixths and not minor sevenths. So our chord is actually C minor 6 instead of our normal C minor 7. Practice starting and ending your lines on different chord tones other than just the root in our minor 6 diminished scale. Alright, so we have our minor 6 diminished scale down, and we've practiced starting and ending on different chord tones. The next step is to add the diminished part of our minor 6 diminished scale. To visualize this, I want you to play a drop 3 C minor 6 voicing with the root on the E string. Now I want you to take every note of that voicing and move it up to the next note in our minor 6 diminished scale. When you do that, you will get this chord. So what is this chord? Well, it's a D diminished chord. In case you didn't know, diminished chords are the exact same sound as dominant 7 flat 9 chords, which happens to be the dominant chord of our key that we're in. So if we keep this pattern going, you'll see that we just get inversions of C minor 6 and then inversions of D diminished. So what this tells us is that within this scale we have 2 chords, the 1 minor 6 and our 5-7 chord, or our diminished chord. So you can instantly apply this to your comping. So now when you see a minor 2-5-1, you can play any voicing in this pattern over that and it will work. So now, how do we use this idea, this concept of both 5 and 1, in our single note lines? Here's a great exercise to get you started. Play a minor 6 arpeggio going up. Let's start on the root for right now. Then instead of playing our root again and just going up the arpeggio, we're going to play the next note in the scale, in our minor 6 scale, and then go down a D diminished arpeggio. Then do the exact same thing with our diminished chord, and then instead of repeating it going down, you're just going to go up to the next note to resolve it back to our 1 chord. So do this exercise for every chord tone in our minor 6 arpeggio. Here are a couple examples. Now you notice that we always end this exercise on a chord tone of our minor 6 arpeggio. If that's the case, then remember, if we start on a chord tone, we'll end on that chord tone. So we can just play our minor 6 diminished scale from whatever chord tone up for 4 beats, and that helps extend our lines out. You can also do this exercise in reverse. You can actually go down the minor 6th arpeggio and up our diminished arpeggio. So you can see that with this exercise and this concept, we can create lines over any minor progression. Remember that if you have any 5/1 language from transcribing other solos, you can throw that into this equation as well. Here are a couple examples combining everything together from this lesson, as well as throwing some nice 5/1 lines into our equation. Some good songs to practice this concept on are Softly as in a Morning Sunrise, Night in Tunisia, Alone Together, Summertime, and of course, just a basic minor blues. I hope you enjoyed this lesson on how to solo over minor chords. Knowing how to solo over just minor chords, dominant chords, and major chords will help you immensely when trying to tackle improvisation over jazz standards. Make sure to check out the other videos in the series, again in the video description. Also, if you're interested in expanding your jazz vocabulary and taking lessons, I can help with that. Make sure to send me an email, which you can find my email in the video description below. If you like what you're seeing and you like my content that I'm putting out, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel out, and it shows me that you guys are still interested in what I have to say. Thanks again for watching, and remember to always keep swinging.